Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Age of Empires 4 live stream here. Been a little while since our last stream. Obviously, for those who aren't aware, we were doing a bunch of streams during Season 1 for Age of Empires 4 here, and Season 2 is well underway. Definitely, if you haven't had a few minutes to go, check that out, get some sweet rewards, do that. But we're here actually today to talk more about Age of Empires 4, obviously. I'm Grant, one of the community managers here on the Relic side. And for those that don't know, just last week there was a little thing called gamescom. And just a few exciting announcements came out from that. And that's what we're here to talk about. So we're going to kick things off. We'll take a look in just a second at some of that stuff, but later in the show, we're going to have some guests as well from the Relic side here to chat about what went into that. But, okay, yes, hello chat, hello all of you, and I saw people trying to do giveaway in chat. There's no giveaway here on stream, but if you go over to our Twitter, recommend doing that after the stream. You can go there now if you want, but if you go over there, there is a giveaway we're doing that's pretty awesome. There's a cool mouse you can go get your hands on potentially, but let's get things going. So to start off, I just want to roll the Gamescom trailer. Most of you have probably seen this by now, but just in case you're tuning in and aren't a Gamescom person, aren't a convention person, just want to see this again. Like, I love this trailer, and I'm just going to hit play and let you all take a look at the awesomeness, the epicness. So here we go.
There's more than one way to win a battle, and every empire must find their own path to victory. Whether you strike from afar or ambush up close, the Malians will use wit and strategy to outmaneuver their opponents and gain the advantage on the battlefield. With powerful siege tools and the ability to rally large formations, the Ottomans can keep the pressure on to bring down their enemies' defenses. When the drums of war beat, how will you emerge victorious? History is in the making, and your place in it has just begun.
All right. I don't know about the rest of you in chat, but to me, that music, there's just such an epic feeling of battle coming in here. And as you saw, these are the two civilizations we have coming later this year to Age of Empires 4 in our free anniversary update, the Ottoman and Malian civilizations here. Yeah, the music is so great. I've watched that trailer so many times as we were getting ready to unveil everything for Gamescom for you, and it's just so nice that it's out there that you can feel that epic beat. You can watch all this crazy stuff going on, and I mean, the biggest thing, there's 2 civs coming, and they're both part of our free update. You can't go wrong with free. But yeah, so these are part of the brand new civilizations coming to Age of Empires 4 later this year on October 25th. This is part of a larger update. We have our free anniversary update with more information on that coming at a later time, but these are we wanted to give you all a look at these 2 civs coming here. And to that note, we do have, let me just keeping an eye on chat here, everyone. But yes, so to that note, we have some special guests joining us from the Relic side over here. I believe this is their first time on stream. I could be wrong. We've done just a few streams, but I just want to pull them on here. We've got Matt McLean and Sean Easterday joining us today. So thank you so much for joining us here, both of you, for taking the time out of your busy day. Got some exciting stuff to talk about, but before we do, I'd like to just let you introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you do here at Relic.
Should I go?
Yeah, go
guess
for
I'll
it.
just go. Yeah, my name is Sean. I've been a designer here at Relic for quite some time, working on a variety of projects such as Company Heroes, Dawn of War, Space Marine, and finally Age of Empires. Most of that time I've been doing system design, army design, so yeah, I've been at this quite a while. I'll hand it over to Matt.
Yeah, also quite a while. Not all here at Relic. I've been here at Relic about 3 years. I was working on the campaign team before, and now I'm a civ designer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time. I know we've got some exciting things coming here, and both of you are also super excited about these two civs coming with this update here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and hey, they're free. Did we say free enough?
I know. I feel like I should just toss free in here a few more times. Have some like nice pop-up graphics, the nice old like '90s pop-up free special today only. October 25th, actually, not today. Just for everyone in chat, they are not free today. They will be here with our anniversary update. And yeah, so there is we have that trailer out, and there are also the Civ pages on the Age of Empires website if you haven't been there yet. Definitely something you can check out after the show. Again, probably don't tune in right now unless you're really, really good at multitasking, but that's just on ageofempires.com. If you choose Age of Empires 4, you can view the civilization pages from there and learn a fair bit more as to what goes into them, and we're going to be covering some of that today as well on the stream here as we show off the Ottomans and Malians. All right. So, Sean, Matt, I think probably a good time to hop into the first of the civs here that are coming, the Malians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me one second. There we go. Sorry, it took a second to get that up. Yeah, so we've got the Malians.
There we go. So yeah, if you're going to talk about Mali, the griots of Mali tell the story of the empire's founding in their most famous poem, the Epic of Sundiata. In West Africa, in the mid-13th century, Sumaro Kante, who they, in the story, called a cruel sorcerer king, had been conquering and oppressing successor states of the Ghana Empire. In response, the exiled Mandinka king Sundiata Keita rallied a coalition of the small neighboring kingdoms, returned at the head of an army, slayed the king with an arrow tipped with a rooster's spur, and frees his people, and thus founded the Empire of Mali. From there, the empire grew with vast gold deposits in the jungles to the south and an extensive trade network to the north, crossing the Sahara Desert. By the 14th century, Mali was one of the richest nations of all time. When Mansa Musa went on his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, he brought with him and then gave away or spent so much gold that as he passed through Cairo, he depressed the gold economy of Egypt for 12 years. With that in mind, to do justice to the empire in Age of Empires 4, the Malians have a military tradition rooted in hit-and-run combat and tools for a vast gold economy. On the gold side, Mali has a couple of early additions that are going to help out your income. They're going to have toll outposts, which are the replacement for the outpost. When one of your traders passes by nearby, it instantly generates 10% of the carried gold it has, goes right into your bank, up to 50% per trip. It also retains all the vision, weapons, upgrades that you usually have, so it pulls double duty and defends that trade route for you. As a unique building, they get the pit mine. So this can be built on a gold deposit, similar to how the Mongol Ovu is built on a stone deposit. It generates gold over time. However, unlike the Ovu, it does not deplete the gold deposit. We start off letting you do 1 in the Dark Age, and then you get an additional 1 per age as you advance, maxing out obviously at 4 in the Imperial Age. The villagers can still access the deposit under the mine, so if you need a lot of gold fast, you can double up in manual harvest as well.
That's awesome. So that means actually, because it doesn't deplete that, it's basically free gold.
It is free gold. The passive generation starts pretty small, but it scales up actually with any houses or mining camps you build around the pit mine. It kind of encourages you to go out on the map, expand, build up these little mining communities, and then you have to defend them, obviously. So you've got the gold. What are you going to do with it? We have traditional options for technologies and units with a gold cost, but the Malians, they have other options to invest that gold, including the new Gaia cattle, which is a food economy source. So you build them at your mill and they cost gold. And immediately, as soon as they pop out, they're worth about twice as much as a sheep if you start gathering from them immediately. Starting in feudal, though, you can start building ranches nearby, which lets you put your cattle on the ranch and generate that gold over time, and it's better for long-term growth. But obviously, they're still there if you want that food now to get your army going. Other gold sources, other gold spends. There are some landmark options for leveraging that. In Age 4, you can build the Griot Bara, which lets you spend gold to launch festivals that temporarily buff your entire army with food gathering, military production, siege damage, whatever your focus is right now. And then in Age 3, you have the option of building the Farimba Garrison, which can build packs of your infantry units at discounted gold-only cost. So you can pump out archers or Donso just with a bunch of surplus gold. Speaking of units, there's a lot going on in the Malian roster. They've got a bevy of unique infantry. Mali introduces our first javelin thrower unit, which is an anti-ranged ranged unit. The Donso is a spearman replacement that does everything that you expect a spearman to do in that role, but they also get a javelin that they can throw that's on a moderate cooldown anytime they're not in melee. Like their melee spear, the Donso's javelin is also anti-cavalry. So if you're charging them with a pack of knights, you're going to eat that javelin volley, then you're going to hit their spear wall, then you're going to start getting stabbed. It's going to be a bad time. Probably the most unique infantry units for Mali, though, are the Musafadi warriors and gunners, fearsome female hunters, and they're the man-at-arms and hand cannon replacements, respectively. The gunner starts in H4 standard as your gunpowder comes in. The warrior, however, is a fast melee attacker that starts in feudal, and it counters armored units. Both Musafadi units share a new cooldown ability to enter stealth for a time, regardless of your terrain. No stealth force required. And so this pair of units can appear out of nowhere, launch devastating sneak attacks, disappear into the fog. In terms of counterplay, the stealth units can be exposed a lot in the same way as if they were in stealth force. Scouts and outposts are effective at spotting them. And they can't enter stealth while they're in active combat. If you like the stealth and you want to double down on ambushes, in Age 4, you can build the Fort of the Huntress. This lets all nearby Malian infantry enter stealth around the landmark, but it also adds a big damage bonus to the Musafadi for those first attacks coming out of stealth. It'll kind of nuke them as you pop out. And that's a taste of the Malians. There's really more to them than I have time to talk about, but you'll all have them in your hands soon enough.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to them, and we're going to give more information, obviously, as time goes on, as we get closer to this update. There'll be a lot of information for all of you, but it's such an exciting civ, and it's such a unique use of that stealth there. Like, it's definitely a fun way to get in there, cause some trouble, just mess things up a little bit.
Yeah, you don't see them coming for sure.
All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a good gist of it for the Malians there. So we actually have the opposite side of these two civs here now. We have the Ottomans.
Yeah. So for the Ottomans, we're telling kind of the story of Osman I, who was a leader of an Anatolian Turkic tribe, modern-day Turkey, which founded a long-running dynasty. There's no primary sources of Osman's life, so he's almost a mythic figure. But they established a dynasty and kind of continued and expanded the rule with rulers kind of taking over until we get to Mehmed II, who captured Constantinople, which ended the Byzantine Empire and kind of drove the Ottomans into basically a superpower status. Renamed Istanbul, it became a city that's the key center of trade and culture. And the Ottomans established a powerful military tradition and really a lot of the firsts of kind of modern era military. So supporting that, we'll talk about the first system, which is the military school. So for the Ottomans, they're not going to have a lot of economic bonuses. It's mostly going to be tied into the structure called the military school. So the military school can be built directly from Age 1. It is limited in the amount that you can produce based on one each age. But it will, after it's built, it can be assigned to produce a unit, and it will slowly produce that unit for free continuously until you reach pop cap or until you change to a different unit. So this is obviously a strong advantage. Its weakness is a little bit of its cost, its slow rate. That slow rate can be improved through use of their influence system. But if you give the Ottomans time, then they'll field a tremendous military, and you'll be in trouble. So if you're playing against the Ottomans, early aggression tends to be wise. So another system that is representative of the history is the Imperial Council. So the Imperial Council plays into a little bit of the military focus. When you produce a military unit, you get a little bit of experience. That experience will gradually build up, and at certain key intervals, you'll get access to what we call vizier points, which can be used to unlock powerful global technologies. These can allow, they'll prove, one of them will improve give you access to another military school or improve the production rate, but they'll have a big impact. And this is kind of a nod to the Sultan and Vizier system that was set up by Osman and continued forth in the Ottoman history. So moving on to some of their unique units. First one to mention is the Great Bombard. So these were special cannons that were actually built for the siege of Constantinople. They were huge, massive cannons that shot 1,000-pound projectiles. So this will be one of the strongest siege weapons that we have in the game. The siege weapon that you'll see on the Ottomans almost doesn't do the real life thing justice, just because we have a little bit of limitations with our pathfinding and whatnot. But this cannon will be very powerful, and it's going to be very expensive, so it's going to be a focus for the Ottoman player to protect it, or it's going to be a focus of attack to really put the Ottoman player in an economic disadvantage if you can kill this thing before it has time to set up and siege down your city. The Metter is a unique Ottoman unit that isn't really it's not an archetypal class. So this is a buffing unit. It's a horseback war drummer. The Metter were war drummers that were used that were kind of originated with the Ottomans. They were used in combat to kind of organize the troops or strike fear into the enemy troops. They were also used on parade when armies left a city or were entering a city. So they have a strong history there. In game, it is you have 3 toggles on the unit that can be used to buff nearby troops. So it can be used to buff the attack, the melee defense, or the range defense of the nearby units. Only one, you can have multiple metas, but only one buff can be applied to any one unit at a particular time. So you have to be careful about how you organize these amongst your troops and make them dispersed so you can get the greatest possible effect. There's also an Imperial Council technology that allows you to increase the movement speed of any units that's in formation with the meta. So this is kind of fast marching your troops up to the front so you can move your large army around. The last unit that I'll be talking about is the Sipahi. This is a replacement for the light horseman. The Sipahi it has an ability that allows it to attack quicker for a period of time, but at the cost of taking increased damage from melee attacks. So generally this is a raiding unit. You'll want it there to kind of protect the flanks of your large formation, really go in hard on those archers, but be careful when you use this ability because it could end up backfiring. And that's all a bit I mentioned about the Ottomans. and we'll move on to more general topics, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much just for that bit of a dive here into these units. Obviously, there's a lot more that we haven't shared here that you'll learn in coming time about these units and the civilizations here for all of you watching the stream. But hopefully this gave you a little bit more taste of what to expect. But I think now, yeah, as you mentioned, we'll try to go a bit more and have more of a discussion here about what goes into making a civ and some general discussion, because obviously hearing both of you talk, Matt and Sean, there is, and I can hear it in both of you, but there's this huge passion for history. There's a lot that goes into making these. Like there's so much research. Just open up to the two of you to tell us like a little bit of how your experience has been and what goes into all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to start with the history. When we pick up a new civ, it's just a big deep dive on research. We're looking at books, articles, journals, art, architecture. As we're pouring through it all, trying to get a sense of the timeline and the big players in an empire, we're flagging anything that jumps out as interesting. We're looking for major figures, weapons technology, the language, the government, the religion, tactics, major battles, anything that might spark kind of a gameplay idea. Eventually, at the end of it, we have a kind of a tome of historical research at hand, and then with a good overview, we enlist the help of our passionate team here, and we start to distill that into a form that fits into Age of Empires. We start to establish, okay, I feel like these guys are going to be cavalry focused, or the civs really defensive, or relics are going to be a big deal in the case of like HRE. And then anecdotes from a battle become a unique unit. We find abandoned blueprints for a tower, and that'll make a great landmark. Maybe a nomadic culture. Sure, pack up all your buildings, move them anywhere. How hard can that be, right? And then we eventually have a consolidated design, and then we can start running that by our subject matter experts.
Yeah, despite what Matt mentioned, where we delve into the history, we don't consider ourselves experts. So we want to vet those kind of our ideas. We want to vet our distillation of history and the ideas that we generate from that with subject matter experts, which we specifically seek out historians that have wide breadth of knowledge in the area that we're talking about. So we can make sure that we're not missing anything important that we could use to represent these civilizations, and obviously that we're ensuring that everything is an honest, respectful representation of the civilization that we're trying to depict in the game. We kind of continue that collaborative effort with the rest of our team as well. We make sure that the art is kind of vetted top to bottom. The architecture is representative. We have our ages, which represent different historical periods. So we have to kind of maintain that consistency and that identity, but bring basically the characteristics that were most common to those civilizations. Audio is a very important thing in terms of history. So we always want to have a good conversation about speech and music, since those are big factors in our game, with the speech kind of evolving as you get through the later ages. That can be tricky without the help of experts to help us along the way. And just general collaboration with civ design, we definitely don't do it all ourselves. We get the support of our gameplay teams, the programmers, the balance team, obviously crucial. You've seen them before on the stream. We work in collaboration with them to make sure that everything that we put out, though it seems strong on paper, such as in military schools, we work closely with the balance team to make sure that they're as balanced as possible when they get into the game.
Yeah, and all those teams do great jobs. Like, have you seen the Malian art? Those walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the great thing of seeing all of this to come together, all these different teams within the studios, all this knowledge, this expertise, kind of all this passion comes together into this nice package. Like it feels so satisfying when you have your hands on it, when you see not just the what you end up with, but watching the process as well, watching these things come together, seeing like things from design, like as soon as you have like a rough idea, seeing that evolve and over time, make sure from the balance side, like, is this fun to play? Is this what we're looking for, the experience for our players in the game? And watching it all kind of come from there, from all these different disciplines, and seeing everyone's kind of craft specialty here
It's definitely it's definitely a wild ride to go from writing on your notepad, but what if cow? And then months later, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of important steps in there, especially with things like readability. There's a lot of back and forth between, the concept as it is generated by the art. Informed by the history as it's generated by the art into kind of just drawing concepts to the actual readable object in the game. There's a lot of kind of back and forth and important steps that really go into making these civs play well, but stand out.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting, and I really just can't wait for everyone to get their hands on these civs here and check them out themselves in game. Obviously, this is coming October 25th as part of our free update. I see some of you in chat chatting with Ashley Lynn here. If you're interested, definitely do check out the Age of Empires website and take a look at the public update preview program, the PUP there. You may find yourselves with opportunities to test content before it kind of comes up through that program. It's a great thing if you're really interested in the game and want to help us as well along the way. But otherwise, keep your eyes peeled for October 25th as we get closer. And as we get closer, again, there'll be more and more information we're able to share with all of you as well. So Sean, Matt, I just want to say, thank you so much for the dive into this. If there's anything else you want to chat about, otherwise, I'm totally fine if we want to wind things down, end up with the trailer again just for everyone. But yeah, I'll leave it. If there's anything else, I don't know. The excitement's pretty real for me. I'm just, it's seeing the announcement, seeing all of it at Gamescom come to be a reality is just, it's so satisfying. Watching all of the chats, watching Reddit feedback everywhere. Everyone's just like, oh my god, it's free. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, trust me, we were pinned to those Reddit threads and to all the YouTube reactions and Twitch reactions. It was a big day.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, and to all of you, our team, we understand there's so many different places for you to share feedback. There's all of you, we do scour. We look at what you say in every venue, whether that's Reddit, on random Twitch videos. We're out there taking a look at this, but also the Age of Empire forums are a great place to share your feedback, or even Discord as well. We have the Age of Empires Discord, and it's a great place to chat with other players as well, and you can also get pinged of any updates and that there as well. Yeah. So I think with that said, I might just hop over and take a look at this trailer one more time with everyone here on this. It's just so satisfying. Let's take one more look. I know everyone's like smoke on the water. It's the drumming time. Here we go.
There's more than one way to win a battle, and every empire must find their own path to victory. Whether you strike from afar or ambush up close, the Malians will use wit and strategy to outmaneuver their opponents and gain the advantage on the battlefield. With powerful siege tools and the ability to rally large formations, the Ottomans can keep the pressure on to bring down their enemies' defenses. When the drums of war beat, how will you emerge victorious? History is in the making, and your place in it has just begun.
All right, I had to play that one more time for all of you. It's so satisfying. I am just so thrilled with how it turned out, and I know all of you are pretty excited here as well. So just to recap, this is part of our free anniversary update coming October 25th. If you're interested at all in checking things out, keep an eye to our socials, hop on the Discord, join the Pop the Public Update preview program there if you can on the Age of Empires website. We'll be getting tons and tons of more information about not just these civilizations, what you're seeing with the Malians and Ottomans, but also with the free anniversary update and all that that entails. There's a lot of exciting stuff. Definitely stay tuned. To all of you here in chat, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for the ride that is Age of Empires 4 here and seeing all of the exciting stuff coming. We can't wait to get it in all of your hands. I also do want to give a huge shout out to our guests, Sean and Matt. To thank them both for taking time out of their day to be here with us on stream. Sean, Matt, thank you so very much. And
That was a pleasure.
yeah, thank you so much. I'll pull you back up on cam one more time as we sign off from this. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We will definitely look to have more streams in the future as well, and give you more information on this content as soon as we can. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. All right, see you next time. Bye, everyone.
There's more than one way to win a battle, and every empire must find their own path to victory. Whether you strike from afar or ambush up close, the Malians will use wit and strategy to outmaneuver their opponents and gain the advantage on the battlefield. With powerful siege tools and the ability to rally large formations, the Ottomans can keep the pressure on to bring down their enemies' defenses. When the drums of war beat, how will you emerge victorious? History is in the making, and your place in it has just begun.